Hello students, this is Taranum Jahan and I hope you people are doing well. So today I'm again with you all people in order to start the new chapter, and today I'm going to start the chapter from geography. So let's begin from the chapter geography. So here this is a new chapter from your geography, that is a chapter 6 for the class 9th. The name of the chapter is population and we are following the book NCERT. The topics that we are going to cover under this chapter. First, we'll see the introduction of the population. Then we'll see the size and the distribution of the population. Under that, how the Indian population has been distributed over the density area. Then we are going to see the population growth. Under this, we are going to see the process of the population growth. Then we are going to see the age composition, sex ratio, literacy rate, occupational structure, health, adolescent population, NPP 2000, relationship between NPP 2000 and adolescent population. So let's begin. Let's start discussing each and every topic in detail. So in this chapter, we are going to study the mainly three questions that arises in the mind. The population size and the distribution. How many people are there and where they are located? Population growth and the process of population change. How has the population growth and changed through time? Characteristic of the qualities of the population. What are their age, sex, composition, literacy level, occupational structure, and the health condition? So here, the people are themselves resource. The population is our resource, the resource of our country, with a varying qualities. Each and everyone are having a different quality. The Census of India provides us with the information regarding the population of the country. And this census is done by the National State Organization, which is called as NSO. Census of the population is done periodically in India. Census is held every 10 years in India. So let's begin and find out the answers for the question that has been arising in our mind. So here, these are the three major questions that arises in our mind, that is population size and distribution. About this, how many people are there and where they are being located, and about the population growth and the process of the population change. How has the population grown and the change through the time? Characteristics of the qualities of the population. What are the age, sex, composition, literacy level, occupational structure, and the health condition? So all these are the questions that have been arising in our mind. So let's begin and find out the solution for these questions. Population size and distribution. India's population size and distribution by number we are going to calculate over here. So as per the census of 2001, India's population was stood around 1028 million, which was around 16.7 of the world population. And when the same thing was taken, the census was taken after the 10 years, that is around 2011 of March, the Indian population was around 1210.6 million, which accounts for 17.5% of the world population. And usually almost half of the Indian population, they live in only 5 states, that is UP, Maharashtra, Bihar, West Bengal and Andhra Pradesh. Moreover, Sikkim's population is only 0.5 million, that is around 5 lakhs, while Lakshadweep has 60,000 people. Now, how the Indian population is distributed by density? Population density is calculated as the number of the person per unit area. The population density of India, if we see around 2011, it was around 382% per square kilometer. That's why India is considered one of the most densely populated countries in the world. So if you see the census of the complete world, India is the world's second most populous country. And China is the first, and very soon we are going to beat up the China and we are going to become the first most populous country. Now see how the population is distributed here in India. As I said, that population density is calculated as the number of the person per unit area. So if we see the population density of India in the year 2011, it was around 382 person per square kilometer, making it one of the most densely populated countries of the world. Whereas if you see that in the densities varies from 1102 person square kilometer in Bihar. See, usually in Bihar there are around 1102 people, those who are living in a per square kilometer. Whereas the same if we see in the Arunachal Pradesh, only 17 people are staying in per square kilometer. Why there is a difference in this? Why more of the population is staying in Bihar and why only less population of is staying in Arunachal Pradesh? This is because of the relief feature. Uh, if they don't find the proper climate, proper soil fertility, and proper land, then the population will never reside in such a place where they have such kind of a scarcity. Where the soil is not fertile, then where there cannot be any kind of a development over there. No industries will be there, no proper roads will be there. If it is a mountainy hilly area, then the proper roads will not be available to the people for the population to move from one place to another place. And again, if it is towards the hilly areas, then it is very difficult for the transportation. So might be that that is the main reason why the people mostly love to stay in the plains rather than the hilly areas or very cold region, not very hot region. They want the mild climate in order to stay. So that is the reason why we see the discrimination in the population. So here if we see that the Bihar is having a more population than compared to the Arunachal Pradesh. In the same manner, in the northern plains in the Kerala in the south have a very high population and the densities because of the flat plains with a fertile soil and abundant rainfall. Whereas if you go to the Himalayan, in a very cold regions, you will find very less population because the people they don't like to reside over there because of the climatic condition, the soil fertility, even the lands. So even the plains, plateaus, hills, climate, all these factors really matters in order to reside the population to this certain region. So that is the reason why we have a this distribution of the population in a very discriminated way. Some places, some regions we have more population, some regions we have very less population, just because of this all the features or the factors that have been affecting the population to reside over there. So by looking at this diagram, you can understand that see the Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Bihar, West Bengal and Andhra Pradesh is having the highest population then compared to the other countries. When we compare it with the Uttarakhand, Jammu and Kashmir, Delhi, Haryana, Chhattisgarh, they are having very less percentage of population distribution. Whereas in Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, we are having the more percentage of the population that are residing over there. Now the next is population growth. Population growth refers to the change in the number of inhabitants of a country during the last 10 years. The change can be expressed in two ways, like in the terms of absolute number and in annual growth rate, or you can say in terms of the percentage change per year. It is one and the same, annual growth rate or in terms of percentage change per year. Now what is absolute number? Absolute number, it is calculated by simply subtracting the earlier population with the current one. That is, the earlier population is nothing but like if you want to know the current population, will calculate suppose 1991's population minus 2001 population, you will get the absolute number. So in this way we will calculate the absolute number population, that how much it has been increased from the later population with the current population. The annual growth rate or terms of percentage change per year, we calculate the rate of population in the percentage per annum. Like this year it has been increased by 2%. We say now, we already say that this year it has increased by 2%, it has increased by 3%. How we say 2%, 3%? We calculate it with a formula. Now what is this formula? Present population minus past population divided by past population into 100. You will get the annual growth rate. So India's population has increased from 361 million in 1951 to 1028 million in 2001. So, since, however, the birth rate, as I said, that it has been increased by 17.5%. How we calculated this? By using the annual growth rate formula, that is present minus past divided by past into 100. By this, we got the percentage, like it has been increased to the 17.5% of the world population. So, since 1981, however, the birth rate declined rapidly. There was a situation where in 1981 the birth rates were declined, and that was some political reason. Due to that, it has been declined. But India has a large population, so when the low annual rate is applied, even then it is absolute large population. There is no change. Even if we are having a low population, even if we calculate our annual population and compare it to the world, even then we'll have an absolute number. So at this growth, soon India will overtake China in 2045 very soon to become a most populated country in the world. So now with the help of this map, you can understand that which state is occupying the highest populated state. So you can see that it has been given as per the per person per square kilometer. So person per square kilometer, if you see that less than 100 in which state it is, so it is Chhattisgarh if you see. And more above 9,000 in which state it is, Bihar, West Bengal. So the most highest populated states here with according to this map, if we see this, it is Bihar and West Bengal, and it has been census around 2011. The population density per square kilometer as per 2011 census it is. So you, again after 10 years we'll be calculating. So might be we have calculated the sense of the population, but we are not having the revised books, so we don't have the current one. So with the 2011 census, if you see this map, the Bihar and the West Bengal is the highest populated one, and the lowest one is the Chhattisgarh. Now, process of population change or growth. There are three main processes of the change of population, that is the birth rates, death rates, and migration. Now, what is birth rates? Birth rates are nothing but one live birth per 1,000 person in a year. In India, birth rates are always been higher than the death rates. Now, death rates in the same manner, number of death per 1,000 person in a year. So in India, there is a rapid decline in the death rates, which is a main cause of the growth of the Indian population, because we have now improved in the medicines facilities. We are having a well improved hospitals. We are having the good transportation facilities. We are now educated. All the facilities have been provided to us. That is the reason why the death rates have completely declined, and the people are you can say that there are more birth rates than compared to the death rates. So as the medical facilities have been improved, the deaths are less. So if we see in 1980, as I said that that was a political issue, because of which the death rates declined during that period. So here the high birth rates are declining, the death rate resulted in the high rate. The high birth rate, suddenly it started getting to the death rates, and even the birth rate declined in 1981. So there was it was a political reason for which the death and the birth rates were declining. Then the next is migration. Now, what is migration? Migration is a movement of the people from one place to another place, or from one region to another region or a territory. This can be an internal, only within the country. It can be external, that is outside the country. Many people, they migrate to the outside country, international countries, and many people do migrate from one state to another state. So according to that, even the change of the process of the growth of the population varies, because much of the population, they move from one region to other region, one territory to other territory. So even that varies the growth of the population. Internal migration is nothing but that do not change the size of the population, but they change the distribution of the population within the nation. So if we are going from UP to Bihar, again we are increasing the population of the Bihar. So it is not changing the size of the population, but changing the distribution of the population within the nation. And what is international population? International population is where the population is going from one country to the other country completely. The territories have been changed, and it is going to change the size of the population. As the population is not residing in India, it will definitely change the size of the population. So in India, most of the migration have been from the rural to urban areas. Even many people, they move from the rural areas to the urban areas because of the adverse condition of the poverty and unemployment in the rural areas, and increased employment opportunities are better and living condition is good in the urban area. So even because of this, many of the population, they migrate from the one region to other region, or it can be from the rural area to the urban area, and the urban areas are having now the highest population. So here it is the same thing, the internal migration and the international migration, and how this is going to affect the how this migration, the internal and international, is going to affect the size of the population, whether they are changing the size of the population, how this rural and urban migration is taking place. They are changing the size of the population from the rural to the urban areas. All these things we have already discussed this. So now carefully observe this graph, and you see that in 1951 there was a, see the death rates, it has been rapidly decreasing. But whereas the birth rates are rapidly increasing, there is no change in the birth, there is just a slight change. But here the death rates are decreasing rapidly. And by the time if we reach the 1981 to 2001, if you see that there is a stability in the death rates, there is no change in the death rates, whereas there is, the birth rates have been increasing rapidly. But see, in the 1981, there are, as the death rates have been declined, even the birth rates were declined. But there in again in 1991 there was a slight improvement, though the death rates are stable, but there was a slight increase in the birth rate. Then again by 1996, if you see 1996 to 2001, again there is a stability in the death rates, but the birth rates even have declined in 1996. So this is the graph which has been taken. This is a census according to the 2001, that how the birth rates and the death rates have been slightly changing. But if you see that death rates have decreased than compared to the birth rates are rapidly increasing due to the slight change or rapid change, but they are increasing, and there is a stability in the death rates. The death rates are not at all increasing, not at all decreasing. There is a stability in the death rates. Now let's see the age composition. The age composition of the population refers to the number of people in different age groups living in a country. The population of the nation is grouped into three broad categories, that is, children, working age, and aged. Now, who are these children? The children are generally the people, those who are coming under the category of 15 years. They are economically unproductive and need to be provided with food, clothing, education, and medical care. Why we are saying unproductive? Because they are not providing us anything. They are not increasing any GDP. They are not working in any of the factory. They are not increasing the income. So they are still unproductive to us. To the country, they are unproductive and they are not improving anything. In return, we have to feed them with the food, clothing, education, and medical. So that is the reason why they are being termed as an unproductive one. Working age, they are economically, now this is a working age comes from the 15 years to 59 years of the age. They are economically productive and biologically reproductive. Now these are economically productive in the sense they can bring certain income, they can improve the per capita income, they can get something to the gross domestic product, that is GDP of the country. But in that sense they are even biologically reproductive in the sense they are to the age where they can give birth to the new children even. So they are biologically reproductive, they compromises the working population. Now the aged one is the people those who are above 59 years. They may be working voluntarily, but they are not available for the employment through the recruitment. As it has been said that it's in retirement age, may not get any work. But biologically, if you see that they are economically productive, they can bring something for the country. But still, when they are of the retirement age, no voluntary people they adopt them for the working condition, because they are of the retired age. So they feel that they cannot do anything though they are productive one. So these people, they comes under this aged one, 59 years. So now look at this pie chart. You will understand the age group of the people that are living in India. Here 59%. Here these are the adult one. These people are the working class, and it is covering around 59% of the population, whereas the aged one, that is 7%. This 59% is productive plus biologically reproductive, and this 7%, these are productive, but just because of the retirement they are not having any employment. Then the remaining 34% is a children one, and they are unproductive one. These are the unproductives. We have to provide them with the food, clothing and shelter. So this 34% comprises of the children group, that is to the age of 15 years, and this 59% is from 15 years to 59 years, and this 7% is 59 above. Sex ratio. Sex ratio is defined as the number of females per thousand males in the population. And we have already been very unhappy with the female population in India, as it has been measuring the extent of equality between the male and female in the society. At the given time in India, sex ratio has always remained an unfavorable to the females, as we have less females than compared to the males. Literacy rate. Literacy is very important in order to improve the quality of the population. So, according to the census of 2001, any person who is the age of 7 years, who is at the age of 7 years or above, and who can read and write with an understanding the language, is treated as literate. The literacy rate in the country as per the 2001 census is 64.84%, which has increased in 2011 by 73%. So this means that we Indians are having a good improvement in the literacy rate. Occupational structure. The distribution of the population according to the different types of occupation is referred as the occupational structure. Occupations are generally classified into three categories, that is primary activities, secondary activities and tertiary activities. Primary activities are related to land. It includes agriculture, animal husbandry, forestry, fishing, mining, quarrying, etc. Secondary activities are related to industries. It includes manufacturing industries, buildings and construction works, etc. Tertiary activities are related to services. It includes transport, communication, commerce, administration and other services. Now let's see the difference between the developed nation and the developing nation. India is a developing nation, and the developed nation is like USA, any other country, those who are very developed in industries and the territory. So mostly the developing nations, they have a higher proportion of their workforce in the primary activities, that is agriculture. And the developed nation like USA, these people, they have a high proportion of the people in the secondary and the tertiary activities, that is the industries and the services. So in India, about 64% of the population is engaged only in agriculture, and 13% are dependent on secondary sector, and 20% are on tertiary sector. So why this is happening? Because in the recent time, people are moving towards the secondary and the tertiary sectors because of the growing industrialization and urbanization in the recent times. Health. Health is an important component of population composition which affects the process of the development. If the population is healthy, they will not take leave from the work and they will be regular to the work, and this will definitely increase in the development of the country. If the population is weak, they will take the leave and they will not come for a work, and this will definitely affect the development of the country. So there has been a significant improvement in the health condition in India, and we can see this like when compared to the 1951 data to now 2011, we have seen that the death rates have decreased rapidly, and the life expectancy at the birth has increased by 36.7% in a year of 1951 to 67.9% in a year 2012. So this means the death rates have been decreasing and the birth rates were increasing. The improvement is due to the improvement in the public health, prevention of infectious diseases, application of modern medical practices in the diagnosis and the treatment of these diseases. Health is still a major concern for India because the per capita calorie consumption is much below the recommended level and the malnutritious has a large percentage of our population. Safe drinking water and the basic sanitation amenities are available to only one third of the rural population. The next is adolescent population. The age group of 10 to 19 years are considered as an adolescent population and it constitutes one fifth of the total population of India and they are most important future resource for our country. Nutrition requirement of the adolescents are higher than those of the normal child or adult. In India, the diet available to the adolescent is inadequate in all nutrients. A large number of adolescent girls suffer from anemia, deficiency of red blood cells or a hemoglobin. So the awareness can be improved through the spread of literacy and education among the adolescent girls. National Population Policy, which is called as NPP. According to this policy, the government over here has initiated the Comprehensive Family Planning Program in the year 1952. According to this program, the people they should plan their parenthood in a proper way so that there should be no more birth rates. They should plan the parenthood. So as per the NPP 2000, they provide certain framework to the population to follow. And what is this framework? Let's discuss. National Population Policy of NPP 2000 provides a policy framework for imparting free and compulsory school education up to 14 years of age. It also helps in reducing the infant mortality rate to below 30 per 100 live births, achieving universal immunization of children against all the vaccine preventable diseases, promoting delay in the marriages of the girls and making the family a welfare, a people-centered program. MPP 2000 and Adolescent. NPP 2000 also put emphasis on other important needs of adolescents, including the protection from the unwanted pregnancies and sexually transmitted diseases. It aims towards encouraging delay in the marriages and childbearing, education of adolescents about the risk of unprotected sex, making contraceptive services accessible and affordable, providing food supplements, nutritional services, strengthening the legal measures to prevent the child marriages. These were the NPP 2000 program as per the adolescent. More important need for the adolescent have been given much importance by the NPP 2000. So now these are some of the important questions and I hope you people can understand with the help of these PPTs. Each and everything has been mentioned in the PPT and you can answer with the help of these PPTs. So try to answer all the questions. So this was the last chapter of your geography. So with this we have finished your geography and I hope you people have understood what exactly I have explained you through the PPTs and through these videos. So I hope that you people are not having any queries. Any queries you can contact me and you can ask me anything. Don't keep the doubts with you, then and there clear it.